To those of the program host and guest and not WSTU. WSTU does not endorse any products mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU.
The Treasure Coast longest running local talk radio show is on the air. The Treasure Coast Forum. Get interested, get educated, get involved, and give us a call with your opinions at 220-9788. And here's your host of the Treasure Coast Forum.
Hey, welcome to WSTU 1450, the Sanity Ceramic Confusion Corner.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here with Frank Mezzapel.
Yes, and you are?
Bob.
Yes. And we are also joined by Mike Neiber.
Mike Neiber's here.
It's great to be back, and thanks for inviting me.
Yes, well, you're always invited. Yes, indeed. So our high school students are on a short hiatus because they're cramming for tests right now. So this was, I thought, an opportunity for us to get the band back together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nobody in the audience, like a 60s band.
Yeah, right. So there you go. So what's up on the docket, Bob?
Oh, well, Fox News.
Yeah.
And Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
And I can't say that it really surprised me because, Rupert Murdoch is not a Republican.
Right.
And his sons are especially not.
Yeah.
And, he went into that because he saw a way to make money because there was the only conservative game in town.
Right.
And there was even talk a long time ago that the Democrats tried to buy him out quick, but he hadn't started making a lot of money yet at it. So he wanted to stick with it, I guess. And I think now there's different things people say why Tucker's gone. One said he said something too religious for Murdoch's liking. One other thing was the January 6th tapes that he released. Mm-hmm. And I think there's another I can't remember. But no, it was strange, but it didn't really surprise me. But just since the beginning of Fox News, it was always an uphill struggle for them. I had to get in Port St. Lucie coastal dish, a coastal satellite dish,
right? Because
they were the only ones that would cover Fox News. And
who was your provider? You remember your
Coastal?
Oh, Coastal was the okay.
All right, we've got a caller on our newsmaker line.
Wow.
All right, go ahead,
Hello.
Caller.
Hello, Bob. Hello, Frank.
Hey, how you doing? Palm City
good.
Charlie.
Yeah, that's me. And Frank,
Yes,
I
sir.
can drive now. I
Okay.
can actually read a newspaper without glasses.
All right, well, next time you
It's
consider yourself
amazing.
invited.
Well,
Next time.
Bob and I and you would have been fun.
Yes.
But
Well,
anyway, I don't have a car right now because
oh yeah, you gave yours
God
away.
has it. No, well, yeah, I gave that away.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't drive. And then I called my buddy, my best friend.
Yes.
He's like a younger brother. And I said, hey, Carter, I can see now. I want my car back.
No
And
backsies, he
goes-
said, right?
He goes, oh, no, you can have it. You can have it if you want it back. I said, come on. Carter. I'm not an Indian giver.
Absolutely.
And he needs it more than me. And now I'm thinking about a G-Class Mercedes.
Oh,
If I can get a diesel,
yeah. Good luck.
what do you think? Do you know the diesel?
I think you'll
I
have to
think
buy a
they just
used car if you
ship
want a
one in.
diesel.
From Germany. Jawohl.
Yeah.
Better have the steering wheel on the correct side.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bob? Huh?
Go to sendthevin.com. That's the guy that
Send
buys
the
all the cars, billions of dollars a year. He says he beats CarMax. He guarantees it or give you $100.
What's it called again?
Sendthevin.com. And he's
Look at
on.
kids. Bob's got all kinds of knowledge. Why don't you get in there with the kids?
Yeah.
You
Useless knowledge.
love
Yeah,
that
I'm full of
girl.
it.
I love that girl. You know,
Yeah.
she's terrific. She was talking about dinglings, Bob,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Last week.
on air.
Yes. Well,
Yeah,
yes.
like, you know,
Yes.
Who
it
was?
reminds me of that song. Let's not sing.
Yes. Right. Hey, I want to play a little bit of. We were talking about Tucker Carlson when your call came
Oh
in.
yeah,
You want to stand
okay, so
by?
this is why I called.
No, it's all right. You can
okay,
stay on
go
the
ahead.
line. Stay on the line. I just want to play this
Okay.
bit, and then why
Okay.
don't you
All right.
listen to it with our rest of our listeners, and we'll let's discuss. All right.
We'll join in. Okay.
Yeah, stand by. All right. So here it is.
I'm sitting by.
Yeah, sitting by. Okay, very good. Here we go.
Good evening. It's Tucker Carlson. One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country. Kind and decent people, people who really care about what's true, and a bunch of hilarious people also. A lot of those. It's got to be the majority of the population, even now. So that's heartening. The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing. In 5 years, we won't even remember that we had them. Trust me, as someone who's participated. And yet at the same time, and this is the amazing thing, the undeniably big topics, the ones that will define our future, get virtually no discussion at all. War, civil liberties, emerging science, demographic change, corporate power, natural resources. When was the last time you heard a legitimate debate about any of those issues? It's been a long time. Debates like that are not permitted in American media. Both political parties and their donors have reached consensus on what benefits them, and they actively collude to shut down any conversation about it. Suddenly, the United States looks very much like a one-party state. That's a depressing realization, but it's not permanent. Our current orthodoxies won't last. They're brain dead. Nobody actually believes them. Hardly anyone's life is improved by them. This moment is too inherently ridiculous to continue, and so it won't. The people in charge know this. That's why they're hysterical and aggressive. They're afraid. They've given up persuasion. They're resorting to force. But it won't work. When honest people say what's true, calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful. At the same time, the liars who've been trying to silence them shrink, and they become weaker. That's the iron law of the universe. True things prevail. Where can you still find Americans saying true things? There aren't many places left, but there are some, and that's enough. As long as you can hear the words, there is hope. See you soon.
All right. So what do you think?
Right.
You like it?
Well, absolutely. And I wanted to say that he was already offered $25 million to go on One America, OAC or something.
OAN.
OAN.
One American Network.
Newsmax was kind of sending out a lot of little bigs for him last night too.
Yeah, I hope, because a lot of ex-Fox people are on Newsmax.
Well,
my wife has banned Fox. And I said, I love Tucker. Let's listen to Tucker. No. You don't fight the Queen.
Yeah.
Don't fight the
No,
Queen.
never. No.
So
Discretion is always a better part of valor.
I'm on wife number 3. I don't want to,
Right.
I can't go, in other words.
No. Yes. Very good. All
So
right, buddy.
that's why I called, though. Tucker's great, and he already has an offer.
Cool.
You knew he would end up standing on his feet somewhere.
Yeah.
But one of the
absolutely.
theories about the sale of Fox was to get rid of Tucker.
Yeah.
That was one of the theories thrown out there.
Okay. I wanted
And
to also mention
Murdoch would take
Schumer,
the hit.
What's that? Say again.
Schumer stood on the floor and demanded Fox to fire Tucker. Did you hear that, Bob?
Yes.
I saw the
Yes.
video.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, that was about what, a week or two. Well, that was
yes.
Jeff, because of the January 6th
Tapes, yes.
tapes.
Yeah.
If I ever ran into
Unbelievable.
Schumer on the street, I hope I don't. I really do.
Well, I hope he's jaywalking.
Mm.
You know?
That guy rubs me the wrong way, almost as much as Pelosi.
You know, I
They're about
in my
equal.
heart of hearts,
They're
I can't
about equal.
I can't believe that Schumer really believes the things that he says. I think he just does it because it's politically expedient.
Well, they proved that recently or things he talked about the border before, and they can't just have it open and this and that.
Right.
They have all kinds of tapes of him
Right.
before he doubled back.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of
reports that ISIS is crossing.
Oh,
Did you hear
reconstituting.
that?
Yeah, I've heard that they're trying to reconstitute. Yeah.
Well, because listen, I was in the military. What the heck do you think? Special forces. ISIS has special forces. People that sneak around.
Yeah.
I have a buddy that his son was in the CIA. He'd walk into town in the Arab garb. He could speak Pashi, and he was dark complected. So, can you imagine?
Yeah, now you have Iran joining teams with China and Russia.
Right.
And Saudi Arabia now is ticked off at Biden, so they're talking about going in with them.
Yeah.
What's going on here? We were net exporters.
Yeah.
A little over 2 years ago.
Right. Yep.
It's a crazy.
There was one theory about these clicks that they do, and he was a Democrat. He was on Fox maybe, and he said basically when you get them in the back room, they're very legitimate people. They talk reasonably, sanely, and so forth. But when they get out in the hallway where the cameras are, they take off, and that's unfortunate. And that's why we should have the people listen to this show. Number one, but number two is stay away from everybody else, and just listen to reasonable people and not the bait clicks that these people are trying to achieve. So,
yeah,
I have other news.
Okay.
You guys may not have heard this because you were driving to the station. So Trump just made an announcement. He is retiring Crooked Hillary.
Okay.
Guess who's calling Crooked now?
What's that?
What do you think? Crooked Joe Biden.
Oh, okay.
I'm going, oh my God. Well,
no.
it works. It does work.
Crooked Joe. So he's
Crooked Joe.
Okay. All right.
I
You
thought
could
you
be creepy, sleepy, and all this. I'm very sorry, people. We shouldn't be talking politics.
No, it's all right.
Well, that's because I'm told that. I'm told that by everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I know.
No.
I have a funny.
In religion, right?
If somebody give me a lot of odds,
Mm.
I'd say Michelle Obama's going to run.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Don't even say it.
Oh my God.
Cross your
That's why I
fingers,
said a lot of odds.
Spit over your shoulder. I would very. She's already said though she doesn't want to. She didn't want to even live in the White House because it was built by slaves. They're having too much fun. They are multi-millionaires. Why the heck would she want to get into the swamp? They're happy.
I don't know.
They have a lot of respect. They can go to Kenya.
They
can
got
go in.
Yeah, they have a house in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they survive.
Yeah.
We only have 10 years left.
I can't believe that Biden actually is running again.
Yeah.
I can't. And they
That's
did
to
that.
protect Hunter.
They did a
I
house.
swear to God.
Hmm.
If he didn't have to worry about that, I don't think he would. I don't think Jill would let him.
He got to protect himself. He's the big man.
Mm.
That's true too. Yeah, maybe he could pardon himself.
Can you do that?
I think you can.
Really?
You
That's
know,
what Trump. The theory was Trump could pardon himself. That's
No,
when
you
he
can't.
ran.
You
But
can't pardon.
you can't pardon yourself.
I don't think so. I don't.
Yeah,
think
you just
so.
go pardon
But
me.
you have to
Yeah.
be convicted of the
I mean,
crime before you
Even
can
if he
pardon.
can't, he can do it.
Yeah, probably.
There you go.
Obama
I
could do
can't
it.
believe
I'm sure of that.
I can't believe the true leaders of Democrats Ayers and Soros are going to allow him to rerun after all this, because eventually, hopefully, the House is going to speed it up and get to all this stuff on Hunter, and he is the big man.
Right.
And there has been money from China and other countries planted in their banks.
Right. So
Absolutely.
one of the things they've been
I'm worried about Kamala, guys, because if Joe does run and win,
right.
we-
Then say
I
it's
pray he
President
makes
Harris.
the fourth year.
Yeah.
Although nothing would get done with her, but
Well,
She'd
what do you
have
think?
parties
What do you think of the possibility where Biden runs again, and throws Harris off the ticket, and then brings in Michelle Obama? puts her on the ticket.
I don't think Michelle Obama's interested at all, and it would be a dramatic insult, even though it would be the right thing to do. I don't think they could do it. But whatever. What do I know?
Well, if she doesn't like the slave-built White House, she can stay across at the Watergate.
See, and on the other side, I think it'd be a really good idea if Trump and DeSantis get together. Because DeSantis
a lot of people like that.
He just started, came out, I think today, that he's forming an exploratory committee.
Yeah.
For his
potential. Said that?
Yeah.
Really? So I honestly don't think he. Why would if I was DeSantis? Why would I run?
I don't think it's a good idea.
In 6 years.
I don't think it's a good idea for him to run to do the whole debates against Trump. I think it's going to weaken the Republican brand, and
it's sanctimonious and all that.
Right.
Trump told him that today on television. My wife, he had something going on someplace.
It
was in Manchester, New Hampshire.
I don't think he's ready for prime time yet. Tell you the truth.
Well, this is what I think. I think it would be really interesting if they can bury the hatchet, and it would be a Trump DeSantis ticket.
That would be great.
It would be wonderful. It would be,
because now DeSantis would get 4 years of vice presidential experience, right? And it would be Trump's last turn, right?
Yeah.
And then DeSantis could roll up the sleeves and say, "Okay, I'm in for 8." So you get 12 years of DeSantis really working the White House.
Well,
so that's my call.
I understand, but I was in sales virtually my entire career. They have dirty Trump so bad that some people believe it. That's the way it is.
Yes.
And I honestly think while DeSantis could beat Biden, as much as I love Donald Trump, I voted for him twice. I don't think he could get in and I'm a New Yorker. I love the guy straight up. I don't like the teasing, though. That should have stopped.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Because, he was president, rise above it all. And I tell you what, that would piss them off even more if he literally became presidential.
Yeah.
That would piss them off.
But they say that they did a after the fact poll, right? Where people they asked them if you knew about Hunter Biden's laptop and all this stuff that's on it.
Oh yeah.
And they said like 18% of Democrats said they wouldn't.
Right. Absolutely. I agree.
So he would have won anyways. And I don't believe it. I don't believe that last election. I don't care what people say.
Yeah.
Well, it's the mail-in voting,
Oh yeah. If we don't
me
get
and my
rid of
wife, we go down there, show identification. They mail it to us. We go back down, drop them off in person.
Right.
We don't put them in the mail.
That's what I go to the polls.
Yeah. Either
I
in the
used
polls
to go
or
to the
drop it
polls
off
too,
yourself.
but I don't like people, Bob.
But what are we
I
doing
like you,
about?
though.
What
I
are we
like
doing
you.
about this? What are we doing about Pennsylvania? What are we doing about Philadelphia? What are we doing about all the states? California? They're not asking for any ID. They can vote as many times as they want.
Yeah.
And they're sending mail out ballots to everybody. And they were talking about giving it to homeless people.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were talking about giving the vote to illegal aliens too.
That's Limbaugh always said.
Bob, you sound old. Are you happy?
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm old.
That's the final goal that Rush always talked about.
Well, that's why the Electoral College is so important and to maintain it. Pennsylvania can have all the votes at once, as long as you don't win. As long as you win all the states, or the states that are needed, there you go. So, and they're trying to break down the Electoral College, which would be treasonous. It would be the end of the game.
The states, we have a lot of states we had a lot of states that need the Electoral College in their own states.
Right.
California, there's a lot of people in California out in those deserts and farm areas. They don't vote for the Democrats.
No.
And they lost population, so I think they may have lost an electoral vote.
Yeah,
they all moved to Florida, right?
A lot of them did. We see a lot of California plates on the road.
Bring their politics. Well, listen, guys, I'm going to get off because I'm tired.
Okay.
I'll listen off there, though. I'll
right.
cheer for you. I promise you.
Thanks, buddy.
Good talking to you,
All right.
Charlie.
Take
Thanks for the
care.
call.
All right,
All
man.
right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, if we don't get this before the Supreme Court, with others, that like we talked about before, the Democrats don't believe in states' rights except for voting.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, they want to be the state.
Right.
They think they are.
They want one party government.
Yeah,
right?
they're
Right.
acting like they are, right?
Yep.
And they always say D.C. wants to be a state, the city itself.
Yeah.
They own 7 states around D.C. where everybody works. People come from as far as Jersey to work there. They sit for hours in traffic back and forth. It's always bottleneck because of that damn bridge on the other side.
And where's all the construction in the country? DC.
Oh, you better believe
All
it.
that money funneling into DC is just amazing.
Yeah, and the unions. And remember the Capitol Visitor Center? We always talk about that.
Mhm.
That thing took like years to finish.
I was going to say, I went to school in New Hampshire, and the Big Dig was up there in Boston.
Yes.
Started out at 2
Oh.
billion. I think it ended up at 18 billion. And, but it was just a gravy train for a lot of people.
But we looked stupid. It had scaffolding all around it for a couple of years just for the dome, to do the dome.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
look, they did we were talking about this one other time here.
Hmm.
They did Hoover Dam ahead of time and under budget during the Depression.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly shovels and things and dynamite here and there.
Look what
but-
DeSantis did with the hurricane.
Yeah.
I mean, the bridges he built in no time at all.
yeah.
I mean, and the state is thriving because of it. But, I don't know what the answer is to that. Unions, what is it? 12%, 17% of the population is unionized or in unions, let's say. So I don't know. I mean, they're losing their effect each year, other than when the right to work states are changed over, and they quickly change to a union state.
Well, all those people that I see going to and from work in Washington, D.C., and we have 3 million plus federal employees now, and add the other 87,000 IRS on top of it, right? So, that's like, we only have 300 million legal citizens in this country, so that's a lot of people, and they always say Washington, D.C., a lot of those people, it's like one person, and 10 people are doing one person's job.
Yeah.
Because they also know that those are all their votes, because they all vote for them no matter what.
Who's going to vote themselves out of a job?
Did you hear about the what happened at the Pentagon? They were cheering about Tucker being gone.
Oh, well, that was their target. The military was Tucker's target a lot of times. And if you think about it, they should be the target a lot of times.
Yeah.
But they were happy. They were having parties in the Pentagon. The generals hated it. But then again, you look at what Tucker says, you get furious, and nothing changes in the military. Even when Trump was in, he couldn't cure the swamp. And the military is probably the biggest swampish thing in there.
Do you remember how many phone conversations that Trump had that was leaked to the press during the beginning of his presidency? How often did that? You never hear that happening when Obama was president, or even Joe Biden, or anybody. Like
Oh
that.
no.
Well, that goes
Never.
to show you about the media.
Media, I think the government people that are in charge of defense, that listen to phone conversations and take care of our government, they're kind of putting their thumb on the scale. Then I think.
A lot of the people, Trump, he got in there. He thought people were going to love him. They loved him. He used to go on The View. They loved him as The Apprentice. He thought that he was just going to slide in there, but he learned real quick that all those Democrats that were left behind were turning on him.
Right.
And he said he won't do that again this time. He said he's going to clean house.
He knows better.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the appointees he has, and you got to give him some slack, because he is new. He was new to the government, and putting Ray in at the FBI, and who was the tall galoot before that? James Comey.
Oh yeah.
Before that, I mean, they were just Democratic hacks.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? But live and learn.
Well,
Hopefully, it gets back in. And you were talking about Trump earlier. This is going to be blasphemous, but he's a buffoon, because of his Twitter activity.
Yes.
But he got some things done
Oh,
that
yeah.
people should be envious of
Oh, you
and
better
see
believe
the
it.
light.
Yeah.
But you're right. Will Olds, we were talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't get paid to do, how was it? Self-serving.
Mm.
Everything is self-serving. And the Democrats are self-serving because they work at the behest of a Democratic government who's doling out their raises, and you're still getting raises. How the hell are they getting
Yeah.
raises?
Well,
But anyway.
we're doing an excellent job.
Yeah.
I was going to say that you know who should be run for president? Elon Musk.
Yeah.
He could probably take 10% of the government or 90% of the government away and work just as efficiently.
Yeah. Well, that's the old saying.
Unfortunately, he was born in South Africa.
South Africa. Yeah.
Sean Plymouth, I think, was the one that always remembered. I asked him, I said, who was the founder that said something like this? This republic, not a democracy, this republic will last until the people and the politicians realize they can either vote themselves more power and more money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what they didn't
Thomas
trust
Jefferson
what they
said
created.
That was Thomas Jefferson.
Jefferson said that.
Yeah. And also these little microcosms of fiefdoms, New York City, LA, Boston, they're all the same.
Right.
And like you said, vote them in. And where was it? This is back in the 50s and 60s. Bob Wagner was the governor of New York or mayor of New York. I'm sorry. But basically, he negotiated the contracts with all the government employees.
Right.
So who did he give the money to? The government employees. So he got a guaranteed vote.
Yeah, true that. All right. You guys want to do the toss?
Do the toss?
Yes.
Oh, which one? Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Yeah, there you go. Thanks. Okay.
And now,
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
again,
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Mike Neiber being called in for extra duty here at WSTU. And we have Bob and, of course, Frank Mezzapel on the controls.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been talking about a little bit of everything. And if you want to call in, please do so. And we'd welcome your calls.
Yep. 220-9788. Operators are standing by, and they look a lot like me.
The 3000th caller gets a coffee mug.
There you go. So we off air, we were talking about the automotive. This was, I think, in automotive news that they're going to discontinue the use of the installation of AM radio in the cars. So the cars will just have the Bluetooth and FM and maybe a CD player, and that's about it, right?
Yep. Killing us softly.
So there are websites you can go to, and I'll try to have it for you next week. But the website will allow you to voice your vote to Congress, your concerns, and so that maybe somebody in Congress will pick this up and lean on the automotive industry to change their thinking on that. But it's a power play, which is really the theme of what we've been talking about today. It's a power play really to silence the voices that are on AM radio.
How difficult is it to get to FM though? I don't know truly.
Except for the FM market, there's only so many FM stations.
Yeah,
there's only so many FM frequencies.
You can use your cell phone, and if you have the app for a certain, like I have the Dan Bongino app.
Rush Limbaugh. So AM radio was really twisting in the wind. It was nearly dead. Rush Limbaugh comes along and really is responsible for the success of AM radio.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh,
single-handedly.
Absolutely.
Okay, we got a caller in our newsmaker line. Go ahead, caller.
Well, it's me again. All I
Charlie.
wanted to say is,
Yes.
okay, you're supposed to call your congressman about this.
Okay.
And also, like when you're on the highway, it says tune in to 660 or something.
Right. And
You know,
it's
And it's
AM.
also a fallback.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
But listen, it's a fallback. It's the widest band, right, Frank?
Yes.
AM?
Right.
It goes all
Alternating
over.
frequency. That's what AM stands
So
for.
it's for safety we need it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. It's not
Very
like birth control.
Oh,
but
yes. Right. Right.
Safety.
That's another topic. Yes.
Wear it, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
I'm
right,
going to
bud.
get off the
Thank
air,
you.
but I thought I'd help you out.
Thanks. All
Yeah.
right. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
brother.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
You remember what they did with the antenna television, with the analog?
Yes.
They ditched the analog and went to digital,
Correct.
and now they have the ability to shut it all down at
Oh,
at
yeah.
a moment's notice. You know, they already own all the
Wow.
news stations and everything. I mean, but you know, it's just they own so much.
Right.
And if you go on those antenna channels, you know, and go away from your Netflix and all that, and I go to my antenna thing, you'll see that like ABC will have like a lot of them, you know, that you only get so many around here,
Mhm.
and they'll have like 5 in a row. And then CBS will have like 5 in a row, but not all under ABC, CBS. They have different little cute names for each of the other ones.
Right.
And they do all the commercials at the exact same time. So your flipping channels don't help no more.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, and also, and I can't think of the name of the radio group, but they own hundreds of stations. One company owns many stations in different markets all over the country.
Oh, yeah.
And one disc jockey will lend his voice for commercials or radio identification for the station. And this is the same guy, does it 300 times, and it's in the can, and the station is automated. And so he's in New Jersey, and it's a station maybe in Fremont, California, but they're running his voice for that station.
The 3 networks own all our major
Yeah.
cable providers. They own Disney World. Disney is owned by NBC, ABC, and CBS. I think NBC is Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
ABC owns Disney.
Right.
We have nothing.
Right.
And now we're probably going to lose. I think Hannity and probably Gutfeld will be next, right, Mike?
Maybe, but basically we're late to the dance. I mean, Republicans were just not as vocal or pushed back as hard.
Right.
But now I just hope that we respond accordingly. Now, the Democrats will say we're loudmouths, we're not procrastinators, but we promote violence or this or that. But we're just trying to fight for what we've lost for the last 50 years.
Pushing back.
Exactly.
And what they've done to people of color. I mean, like they say, the Great New Deal, there's rumors all over that the Democrats were saying, hey, we get this through, we're going to own the black vote for infinity. And they do. And it broke up the black family because you couldn't get the check if you had a husband or in the house.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah. So they really hurt these people.
Right.
Now they can't, Mayor of Baltimore doesn't know who to sue, and he's a liberal too. But all his inner city schools, I think one person passed math.
Really?
Just at the lower end of it.
Right.
This is terrible what they do to these people to keep them in their place for votes. And now they're doing it with all the transgenders. It's like I call it they consider these people their island of misfit toys, like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cartoon thing we had. That's their base. The transgenders, genders, pro-abortion, gay, lesbian, people of color, and they try to tell them that we hate them. We don't hate them. But don't push everything this way, and there's the way we're rolling over for the transgenders, trying to make them feel happy. And now they're allowed to play in sports. Biden said, and all the Democrats voted for it.
Right.
But who doesn't like transgenders and gays? That would be Iran.
Yeah.
And you're going to make them want to attack us twice as much. Remember the guy that took all our hostages when Carter was in office over there in Iran? He went to Columbia University years ago. They invited him, and they're talking about this and that. And, they throw pies at all our people that go to the colleges.
Right.
They welcomed him and clapped for him and everything. And then somebody stood up and said, what do you think about the gay people in your country? He says, well, we don't have any. And they were all looking at each other like crazy, but they still didn't do what they do to conservatives that go there and try to give them some insight into a different way of thinking. But it's just crazy. What's I told Biden, I texted him back. He was talking about the transgenders and this and that. No, I was actually Marjorie Taylor Greene was talking about it. I texted her back. I says, why doesn't Biden tell Caitlyn Jenner to put in for all those gold medals that the women won when he won them all in the same events? Because his times were better, his jumping distances, whatever, were better.
Right.
So go tell them they need to give their gold medals to Caitlyn Jenner now.
Yeah, there you go.
He gets both. He gets all of them.
All right, we'll be right back. So stick with us. And we are back. Thank you for listening. You're listening to Treasure Coast Forum, and it's a substitute show for the high school kids who are on 1 week hiatus. They should be back next week, hopefully with report cards in hand and good grades to show for their extra time off. So,
They're pretty smart.
yeah. So
They come here, but they're
we're
still
back.
smart.
So one of the people we didn't talk about, and then I want to change subjects, but one of the people we didn't talk about when it came to voices in the media landscape is Dan Bongino. He happens to be a Stewart resident.
Yeah.
And he got 86 within 24, 48 hours of when
he says,
prior to.
he said he went
What's
on
his
his own
story?
volition because he heard about all the new policies coming out now that they would have to. He says, "How am I going to have a guest on?" And he tells me something that I didn't know we were going to talk about. Like here, we talk about we
Right.
don't know if we're going to stay on track.
Right.
And he says something, and I'm responsible for it because I'm not going to fact check it right there when he says it.
Right.
He says, I can't operate like that.
Right.
So he said he actually
Walked
his-
away. He
walked
walked away
away.
on his own.
but he was telling Tucker, he's hoping Tucker goes and does what he does. He says
Podcast.
he could make on a podcast
More money.
and a like a 20 million a year, and he could make they have a radio show like him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hopefully these radio owners or this major companies, Westwood One,
Mm-hmm.
don't kick all our guys out before the election. Yeah, that's the big thing. We lost Tucker for one of the most important elections ever in this whole country.
Yeah. Good point.
But I think he might jump to. I think he might take Newsmax. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't see him doing that. I think he's going to go the Bill O'Reilly route. I think he's going to and Megyn Kelly. I think they're just going to do a podcast and be active on social media. And
Apparently, it's quite lucrative.
Mhm,
I mean, Megyn Kelly was a trailblazer back when, and that's only 5 years ago. But for all the nonsense that we're talking about, get the dump switch ready. 'Cause
Look out.
I still blame the Republicans.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's,
We're always trying to be polite, congenial, collegial,
collegial. Exactly. Yeah.
and what
And you got that crap in Tennessee and what have you. And they, oh, yeah, bravo, bravo, bravo.
Right.
And they should have been, never mind.
Well, look at Mitch McConnell. He's all upset about Tucker, for showing those
Sure.
videos.
Yep.
Hey, those videos were telling a lot. Now
Right.
there's a thing about the guy that was saying, let's all go in. We have to go in, he said.
Right.
He didn't go in.
Right.
So they were thinking he might have been like a
plant.
FBI or something.
Well, and isn't Ray Epps part of this whole lawsuit thing? There's a Ray Epps thing too.
I don't know if he's a part of the lawsuit.
Well, yeah, I think he's got a lawsuit pending against who? Maybe Tucker. And that's coming up. And I think that's one of the reasons why Fox and Tucker parted ways, because they saw another lawsuit looming.
No, they're all going. Look, there's another woman coming out now saying Trump was bothering her years ago.
Yeah.
Now that.
Oh yeah.
Now they said Tucker's.
Now that story didn't have legs years ago, but suddenly
Yeah,
it has got
exactly.
legs now.
Yep.
Yeah.
They say Tucker's going to get blasted left and right. They say there's a spy, some lady that works inside Fox News that keeps all kinds of information on
Feeding.
people for this
Right.
situation.
And
Oh,
you
no.
got
The J. Edgar Hoover of Fox News.
Yep.
Too funny. Well, there's a journalist and constitutional lawyer, Glenn Greenwald, and he highlighted what he says is an absolutely remarkable and chilling indictment by the Department of Justice, which comes as Republicans are drawing increasing attention to the weaponization of the federal government through subcommittee chaired by Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio, weeks after a GOP social media influencer was convicted of election interference for posting memes about Hillary Clinton in what critics argue is the most shocking attack on free speech in recent history. The DOJ announced in recent release that left-wing U.S. citizens have been charged with felonies for speaking out against the war in Ukraine, allegedly working on behalf of the Russian government. So it's just kind of an interesting, yeah.
And it
wow.
nothing has to be true if you think about it.
No.
Those 51 CIA heads and so forth that came out and said Hunter Biden's computer was Russian disinformation. Number one, how did 51 people get control or see the laptop in the first place? To write the comment and stake their integrity on it or their position in our illustrious government. But they did it, and it came.
Well, they're all lockstep.
Yep, they're all in lockstep, and you wonder how they do it because who's the other guy who just came out and says, "Oh yeah, Tony Blinken." Came out and asked the head of one of the CIA, I guess the head of the CIA, go get 51 cronies and have them sign off on this.
Yeah.
And then Biden used that at one of his debates saying 51 CIA or head of the DOJ came out and said that was hogwash.
Right.
Now we found out that's not true. And that goes back to your 10 to 15% would have changed votes if they knew about his laptop.
Well, if Trump had, I think he won it, but if he had gotten into the White House again, there was a lot of people in D.C. that were going to go to jail. Comey, Strzok,
No. It will never be a perp walk. No, there's never going to be a perp walk. That's what I've been waiting 75 years for that, and it hasn't happened. So it will never be a perp walk. But I want to see one so badly. But they're all protecting their own. It's sort of like
it's a country club.
It's a country club.
Yeah.
They back up. They sit back, circle the wagons, and everybody turns out to be fine.
So is the Supreme Court going to address before 2004 elections these states that are letting people vote? Because their states' rights shouldn't affect national states' rights.
True. Okay. Yeah.
If we don't,
didn't they come down against California saying illegals couldn't vote in national elections?
Right.
Yeah,
they did.
So they said that. So that should carry some weight for the rest of the country, you would think.
Yeah, but in Philly, no IDs. California, no IDs. And they said the illegals could vote in local issues.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and you're not going to.
But
We're not going to know.
How are you going to manage that if you can do it in
Yeah.
one election and not in another?
Yeah.
On the same polling station.
They have no intention of doing that.
That's
How
why
are you going to manage that?
That's why COVID-16 will be a turning point in our country for the next 100 years.
Yeah.
Educational change.
Yeah.
Voting rights will change. Voting methods will change. And it was all predicated on, we can't leave the house. We'll get sick, so we can mail it in. And then, of course, you had somebody dump those ballots in a ballot box that's sitting 100 miles away from the voting precinct.
Right.
But they would today that a lot of parents didn't realize the curriculum that they were being taught.
Definitely.
I've known that for decades. I've been on that, and they were like, "Oh, what do we do here?"
So that was kind of the yin and yang of things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but we got to get something by the Supreme Court because we can't go into this like this anymore. We were fools, and 2 years goes by really quick. I thought we already put a handle on it before the midterms.
No.
I thought I was so confident that we were going to take the House by a wide margin.
We would have.
And even take the Senate by a couple.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. I mean, it turned out to be a flatliner. So everything balanced out. But we did get the House by a couple votes, which seems to be changing a lot of people's minds. If they pay, and then, of course, who pays attention to politics in this day and age other than around election time?
Yeah.
If it's not election time and yourself or myself who've retired can spend all this time, watching Fox News, but the people out in the street, I shouldn't say the sticks, but out in the street, they don't have the time to do it.
We need to get the word to these minorities and these kids that consider themselves woke that you are giving the Democrats, you're giving away all your powers to the Democrats right now. These people, the minorities, the people of color are going to be the majority in this country, not too far from now. And they're not going to have any, they're going to be the majority of nothing. They're
Right.
going to be of something, southern or northern Cuba is what they're going to be the majority of.
Exactly. One thing that's coming to a head is early voting. And Rhonda McDaniel, the head of the RNC, she needs to get out and have people vote early, because if they wait until election day, which most people want to vote, have their physical vote counted right there and then and go in and vote. But the pre-voting or the early voting, it's a large number to overcome. That's why the Democrats are leading in the very beginning of the vote taking, and then we have to play catch up.
Remember when the Dems used to cancel our soldiers' absentee ballots? Oh,
Jesus.
Too late.
Oh, I was so off.
Yeah. You did good. I slipped sometimes.
There you go. It was fun, guys.
Yeah, good to see you, Mike.
Good seeing you guys.
Haven't seen you in a long time, and
I know.
It's a love listening to you.
Well, thanks for listening, one and all, on the AM radio of your choice. And of course, you can listen to us on TuneIn, and you can also pull us up on YouTube at Treasure Coast Forum, WSTU 1450 Treasure Coast Forum, right on YouTube. And we'll look forward to seeing you here next week, right here on Treasure Coast Forum. Thanks for listening.